doing alphabetically. Did I CR and yes, thank you. Boy, I've been standing up here a bit. Get me some more water. Ms. Craven. Thanks for your patience to work that out.
Thank you.
2 minutes.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you all for being here tonight, and also thank you to the Chamber and CN for hosting us. It's really a great event. I am Margaret Craven, and I'm serving now from District 53 and running for our new District 93. I married into Maine, raised my children here. They went to Lewiston public schools, and they're doing wonderful. I have 3 grandchildren. I've served in the legislature for 6 years in the Senate and 9 years in the House. And the question that people ask me most as I go to the doors is, what are the big issues that are going to be coming in front of our legislature this year? And I count out often 3 or 4, probably the first is the issue of our farmlands that are being poisoned with PFAS. We also have an issue with clean energy and the tension that's going on between our fisheries and our wind power initiatives that are being built, as well as the issue with labor. And the governor has set up a committee to address labor issues, and I actually have been assigned to that committee. However, before I talk about any of those issues, I want to take some credit for all of the work that we did for the last 2 sessions. We expanded Maine care, which I'm very, very proud of. In the referendum, 69% of the people in Maine voted in favor of that. We raised the education, we raised the education funding to 55%. We did a lot of work with Lands for Maine's Futures, in that we funded that. And I have fought for wages for long-term care staff in nursing homes, group homes, and other folks who do direct care work. And more to come.
Thank you, Mr. Craven. Robert.
Good evening, my name is McCarthy. I'm running for the House District 93. I'm a 5th generation Lewiston resident. My great-great-grandfather helped dig the canals. My great-grandfather was a livery driver for the city of Lewiston. My grandfather was also an alderman at one point. My dad coached teenagers in both baseball and basketball for far more than 20 years, and now it's my turn. I am currently Ward 2 City Councilor in Lewiston. I'm also chairman of the board for the Auburn-Lewiston Airport. I'm on the finance board, so I'm wearing a few hats right now, and I need one more. A few of the things that I'm looking forward to accomplish when I get to Augusta. One is a parental bill of rights. I think that parents need to have more input in what their kids are taught in schools. And I think that they're sort of shut out of that process, and that process needs to be open and protected. One of the other things facing Lewiston is the fact that we have a large homeless population that needs to be addressed. I think in the past the state has dropped the ball on helping the cities deal with that. It's been a controversial subject in Lewiston. I think we're on the right track now, but we need to get Augusta on board. We need to get the funding needed to not only house these individuals, but give them the part of the community, bring them back in, whether it be counseling, job coaching, just a place to shower, get clean clothes so they can interview well if they go out for a job. Another area that needs to be addressed is the cost of electricity in the state of Maine. It's been going up exponentially, and a lot of it due to the programs that are being created at the state level that are driving up the cost. Taking out hydropower dams, I think, is a big mistake. That's clean energy that they're doing away with. Clean, cheap energy. Trying to fill the void with windmills and solar panels, which have a definite life expectancy, and then we'll have to deal with getting rid of them at some point in time. And the other thing, as being a city councilor in Lewiston, I'm uniquely positioned to represent Lewiston and Augusta. I know what Lewiston needs, and I can get that for Lewiston. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause. You're welcome to stay at the podium. Ms. Craven and I will stand to your left. Come on over here. The first question that I would invite of you to speak to, as you think about, you just both did a great job naming some of the things that you're focused on for the community of Lewiston. Tonight you've heard here from so many communities that are reflecting the concerns of constituents of rural communities. And one of our most recent speakers referred to the nature of bedroom communities, of which they might be working in the cities of Lewiston or Auburn or otherwise. If elected and operating in state government, the majority of your colleagues will be representing more rural communities. And so what policies might you propose or focus areas to work on if elected that you might see movement for that would benefit the communities of Lewiston and the surrounding towns? Mr. McCarthy, would be with you.
One of the things that I think needs to happen is we need to drive down the cost of building affordable housing for citizens. We're currently working on projects in Lewiston that are costing between $350,000 and $450,000 per apartment unit, and I think that's just ridiculous. I think the money, I think there needs to be changes in requirements to drive down that cost so that they can spread money out further. That would be a big help. As far as helping rural communities, I think encouraging more of the buy local, as far as farm stands, supplying locally grown food to the school department and some of the other programs around. Lewiston is a service center community. I think unfortunately, the taxpayers of the city of Lewiston bear the brunt of being a service center community, and I think the state needs to help out more on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Craven?
Yes, thank you. Regarding driving down the cost of housing, I think that we're really gone by that. The Maine State Housing funds a lot of our building. If you're working in Augusta, this is not an opportunity that you're going to have because you're buying stuff from China, you're buying, you're hiring staff, you're doing all of this, and so. But we did indeed send a lot of money to build new homes, and that's been stagnant for the last prior to 8 years. There was no building, there was no funding for that, even though the Maine people had indeed voted to and passed dollars to continue building. We are on the cusp of having wonderful opportunities in Lewiston at the moment, where we're going to have at least 190 new apartments for working and low-income folks, and I'm very excited about that. And certainly the state of Maine helped with that, as well as other things. We also are indeed a service community where we serve a lot of people from the areas. I think that it's only fair of other communities who send people to Lewiston and who send people to Portland help pay for expenses people coming out of prison, for people who are homeless and need care, medical care, and boarding care and that sort of thing, which they are very resistant to do, and we are burdened with that constantly. And again, I think that the Maine State Housing and even the federal government has been doing a good job during COVID to help with that, but down the road, we certainly need to do some long-term planning for vulnerable populations.
Thank you very much. My final question, which will be taking this time and then with you, sir. My final question is this: as you think of the opportunities for Lewiston residents, Lewiston businesses, and the community at large, you both noted some of the development, some of the opportunities that are coming. If elected, what is the thing that you could work on with the most significant impact directly back to Lewiston businesses and residents? What's the focal point of your elected office?
Well, definitely we need to get behind training skilled workers. And I think, you know, the unemployment rate is a little over 2%. And so where we're going to find people to do that is another issue. I think that we need to provide way more resources to our new immigrants coming in to do the English language learning and also to do skills training, because we are not going to breed enough workers. And so workers are going to have to come into the state of Maine, and I welcome them, and we definitely need to invest in their training and in inviting people to come in and help us with our labor issues.
Sir.
One of the things to look at when it comes to the labor issues, you don't look at the unemployment rate, you look at the worker participation rate, and that rate has actually gone down. And we need to encourage more people to come back into the workforce, whether it's increasing opportunities for daycare, changing some of the state programs to encourage people to work themselves off of the subsidy programs out there that are supporting them, encouraging students to come to places like CMCC and learn trades. A lot of the trades that they can learn, plumbing, electrical, engineering, all pay better than a lot of these jobs at college, four-year college graduates are getting. So I think we need to encourage that part to increase the workforce. And also, like I said in the past, I think it's time for, I think the state needs to supply service center communities with more support to lower the tax rate so that the businesses that we have and the businesses that we can attract can afford us to set up shop or